Of me? No.
Of me?
Yeah.
You remind me of me a lot.
Okay, why is that?
Not like if I was a white lady type thing. But
you wouldn't want to be me if you were a white lady?
I don't know who I want to be if I was a white lady.
What is up, y'all? My name is Mary Ryan Brown. I am a writer, a comedian, a wife, and a mother, and this is my podcast, Superfreak. I named this podcast after the Rick James song Superfreak and after my very favorite movie, Little Miss Sunshine. Go watch the last scene in Little Miss Sunshine. It's all about performing from the heart and letting your freak flag fly, which is exactly what I'm always trying to do in my writing, in my comedy. On this podcast, we'll have guest segments from comics, writers, and artists that I admire, as well as just interviews with people from my life that have made me who I am. I'm looking forward to seeing this podcast evolve. I'm looking forward to connecting with and growing an audience and hopefully a community here. And I can't wait for you to get freaky with me. Will I ever get a chance to spread my wings and fly? Think on that. I think Kelly Ripa.
Kelly, yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly will be a good one.
Yeah. Just not Ellen. Dear God, not
Ellen.
Ellen.
All right. Not Ellen then. Okay.
Okay, Rosie's cool.
I mean, man, Ellen got some stuff in common, too.
New Orleans.
Comedians from New Orleans. Dress alike.
That is.
We shop at the men's warehouse. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like,
the Joseph A. Bank.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. You like a vest.
Second floor of Zara.
Yes. Oh. Not the second floor.
Yeah.
That's for people who just haven't quite decided yet.
Yeah, you're in between holes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, why do you look at me and say, yes, young blood?
Yeah, the reason why is because it's your grind, it's your hustle. Like, you're telling me like you got somebody that like sponsors you for clothing and things like that. Like, I had all that stuff. Like, people would send me clothes. You know, I was doing like a lot of shows. They would send me clothes. Like, oh, he's gonna wear them. People gonna ask him where he got it from. He's gonna look good in it, and you're gonna tell them. And that's all people will be wanting and needing. Like, you know, stuff like that. But also, the way you've been rising. Like, from the first time I seen you, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, I can see that, and I just be proud every time I see you doing your thing. Like, I be like legit proud. I was just telling my girlfriend that on the way up. I'm like, you know, I'd be so proud of Mary Ryan because she just doing it. Like, you just doing it, right? And I never met a female comedian, and I don't just put the word female around that. Is that cool? I don't, you know.
Oh yeah,
all right. I mean, you are a female, but you know, I want to make sure I'm using the right terms and stuff. You know what I'm saying it the right way.
It's all good. A bitch
I've
comedian.
never met a female comedian who was married with kids, maintaining a household while pursuing a talent. I won't even call it a dream because I always tell people, like, I don't think comedy was my dream to do. I just think it's like something that chose me. So I see you doing it, and I see everything else you're doing with your baby and with your husband, and it's from the outside it seems like they're not being slighted or lacking at all, even with you doing as much as you're doing. So that's what I mean by like remind me of me a lot with it. Because people know me for doing stuff with my kids always, you know what I'm saying? But still also having a shitload of shows. Like, you know, my schedule is always packed. Even if I'm doing 2 weekly shows a week, running 2 shows a week, also while getting booked on other stuff, also while maintaining them kids' schedule.
And working full time.
It's look, I applaud you. I commend you. But yeah, that's what I mean by that, you know.
That's very kind.
Yeah.
You know, you say you think of me and you're proud. I think of you and I'm so thankful and I have so much respect for you because, you know, you really were one of the first people to see it in me and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass here. You opened up a whole new world of comedy for me because I came down to that open mic in New Orleans. Right. And then I got booked on that show at Jinx, the place with the bathtub. Shout out Jorge.
Yep.
And you were there. And You were so funny. You were wearing all white. Yep. I remember, you know.
I remember it.
Yeah.
It was it August or September?
I think it was September because it was my niece's birthday. So we were in town for that.
Tulane had played
something. That's right. And Andrew was at the game.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And we were talking about that.
Yes.
I was like, I can't believe that was the season. That was their good season of like, but they lost to Southern Miss. Yeah, it was that.
Embarrassing. And that's always a sore subject for us because Andrew and I both went to Southern Miss.
Right.
But he's a huge Tulane fan. I am as well now.
Yeah.
And that's always weird.
Roll
we
wave.
don't know what to wear. Yeah, roll wave.
Because we go to the games. Me and my kids, we go to the games. Yeah. Because that's my neighborhood, though. I grew up on Forest Street.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Meadow, she loves those games. She loves the cheerleaders and the dancers, and she always wants to go through the student entrance, like where the students are going in there throwing beers up in the air. She wants to go in there, and I'm like, girl, not yet.
I usually sit where they come out the tunnel, where they're getting hyped up. So I got to go up. I got to wait for them to finish getting hyped. I'm running a little late, and then where the team is coming out, and I got to go up right there.
God, so cool.
But yeah, that's when we met, though.
That's when we met, and then we kind of, followed each other on Instagram, and then you asked me to open for you, and my heart dropped to my butt because this was, I so admired you as a performer, and then to ask me to open up at Comedy House, I was so
January.
green. Yeah, that was January.
23.
That's right. And I was so nervous. I mean, I went over my set. I probably asked you way too many questions, and you were like, you can do 10, 15, whatever. And I was like, 10? Oh, God. Like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? And we did those 2 shows, and it was sold out.
Right.
I definitely feel like I hit my stride the second show. You were so supportive because I was like, give me all the feedback. And normally, my experience up to that point with male comedians had been, I'm getting feedback no matter what, no matter if I ask for it at night or not. And I appreciate feedback. I love it. Whole typed page of notes from some random dude to my work email.
Man, what?
Weird. That's a little weird, telling me I'm not standing in the light correctly. That's
right.
That's something. But you were just so, I don't know, the backstage energy was great in that tiny little green room back there. And you were really the first one to be like, hey, I see you. I think you could do something. Come be on my show.
Right. And that was a big show for me. That's because I usually do like one big one a year. And that was the one. Right? And I'm glad that I had you. I'm glad that you did it and came out. And the support system behind you was great. And so my thing with me, and as long as I've been doing comedy, I've always been able to identify talent in people. Always. I feel like I haven't been wrong yet. They'll in New Orleans they'll call me like the OG of comedy. Like, I'm so young, but I've been doing it so long, and when people come to me to get into comedy, I really don't be like asking them, how can I put this? Like, well, did you do this? Did you do that? Da 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 da. Nah, I'd be like, all right, come on and do it. Because obviously, if you want to do it, somebody think you're funny outside of yourself. I always tell people, if you don't have 10 people that think you're funny, then you might not want to do it. But if you got 10 people that want to support you, even though you ain't that funny, then give it a shot and let the funny grow on you. Because nobody's going to be a killer out the gate. Like, you may have killer instincts, but you gotta grow into that. You have to grow into that. So, I seen it. And that was just a little open mic, in a little bitty bar, you know what I'm saying, with about 12 seats at max. And we had a great time. It was a great time, and you did good. You did good. And then it was good enough for me to say, all right, come do this show with me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want us to do more shows together, but so I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. I'm proud of you too. Yeah. And I respect the way you love your family, you love your kids. You're always like, not that posting with your kids is a measure of how much you love your kids, but I see them a fair amount. They're so cute. Mm-hmm. And we have daughters the same age.
Right.
Yeah, Corinne is August. Okay.
She's August 16th.
Okay, Meadow's April 13th.
Yeah.
So, who is your favorite kid, and why is it Corinne?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely Corinne. It's definitely Corinne, because and the boys are, they'll be like, "Oh, shut up." But it's Corinne right now, only because them boys are older now. Like they're older, they don't want to be bothered with me like talking about it. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be with me when it's time to play PS5 or something like that. Which I don't play video games like that, so But Corinne is different. Like she's the only girl, and she's just so smart. And it's like I'm at an older age with her now. So with the boys, I was early 30s, late 20s. So it still had so much more I wanted to see outside and stuff like that. And now with Corinne, it's like she get the version of daddy that got money. She get the version of daddy that just want to be inside and chill. Like, she get that version. So I think it's a little bit unfair, a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, hey, it is what it is.
I'm glad the girl came last. Though.
Right, me too. Honestly, me too, because I was done.
Yeah.
I was so done. I was so done, but she here now.
Girls are different, though. I don't know. My husband, he grew up with just a brother, and, he's been in a pretty, male-centric world.
Yeah.
And so to have a daughter, I don't know, it's been interesting to see how that's changed him.
Yeah.
So tell me about your comedy journey. I know you started doing it really early.
Yeah.
Give me the highlights.
So I started doing comedy at 15. Yeah, 15. New Year's Eve, 2001. That's when I decided. Well, I call that the start because that's when I first got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna count, and it was like $15.
Doesn't matter.
From a tip jar, from an open mic, but I'm gonna count that. I mean, I count that as the first one, but you doing it, and I was doing it, and we had a comedy theater in my neighborhood. So that was, on Forest Street, we had a lot of Weed Comedy Theater. So that was, that was a good place for me to start my comedy journey because I could just walk to the club. Now, I wasn't old enough to be in the club, but they would make me go last and stuff like that.
And you certainly couldn't drive.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously. And but they had me going last, and not because I was the funniest or anything like that. It's just that I had the people with me. So, I open mics, we're going to hold the crowd. So which comedian brought the most people? All right, yeah, that's the one that's going last because all these other comedians need to be seen by people too. And I agree. But so that's how I got my start. Went from there to not really taking comedy serious throughout my high school years to joining the Air Force. And when I joined the Air Force, that really woke me up to be like, you know what, you need to take comedy more serious. Because you damn sure don't want to be in Afghanistan no more. So, that really flipped the switch for me. Like, all right, let's take this up a notch. And also, being in the military and being overseas, I was able to perform. Like I was able to put on shows for other troops while we were there. Not necessarily like a USO tour or nothing like that. No, it was just me putting the show together in the pavilion and everybody coming out and watching it.
Wow.
And that helped me grow my fans around the country. This is the only social media at the time. Facebook was just coming around, but you had to be in college to have Facebook at the time. And you didn't, Twitter had just jumped on the scene but wasn't on it yet, and Instagram wasn't out yet. So, you had to make. I mean, MySpace was around, but my MySpace got hacked like my senior year or something, so I never even used it again.
You made a girl mad.
I must have.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. That must have been what happened.
You got knocked off her top friends.
Man,
you got knocked off the platform.
I probably had MySpace for like 4 months, and I didn't have it again.
But toxic place.
But it was. But nonetheless, I started growing my fan base through my other troops from other cities and other states. You know what I'm saying? Being deployed. That really helped me out. And I still keep in touch with those people to this day. So if I go to certain cities, or they will even holler at promoters in their cities and book me to come to their cities. And that's how all the touring came about.
Wow.
So, I equated being in the military to being in college. You're going to meet people from all walks of life, all different places and things like that. And y'all y'all gonna hit it off, and y'all gonna get cool, and you know, and they're gonna know that you're funny. They're gonna like what you do, and they're gonna want to bring you and expose you to where they're from. You know, so that's how that came about. That's pretty much the journey, though, and I've been on it ever since.
So tell me your first jokes that you wrote. Can you go back to sort of how they were constructed? What was on your mind at the time, and how has that evolved? What are you writing about now?
All right, so I've always written jokes. Just if it came to my mind, right, a scenario would come to my mind. I'd be like, you know what? I see the funny in that. I see the funny in that. People may not think that's funny, but I see the funny in that. So this is how I'm going to construct this joke to show the funny in it. So I think my first jokes were all based around things that I would read or see and things like that. Because I'm a big reader, right? Not necessarily books, but I'm a room reader. I read articles. I watch commercials on TV. Like people, I hate when people turn commercials. Like I be like, we missed some important information. We don't even know what Trevita heals because you turn the commercial. Like we don't know.
What if I do have mild to moderate plaque psoriasis?
Exactly. Like I don't know how to treat it. You know, I didn't know Ozempic could make me lose weight. Like I didn't know this. Like,
and now we all do.
Now we all know. Everybody knows. Everybody's on Ozempic. If anybody lose weight, they on Ozempic.
They really are, and you can tell. You can tell in the face. It's like, girl, I've never seen you go the extra mile in Pilates.
You on that O.
You on that O.
You on that O.
And that's okay. Just own up to it.
So but that's how I would get my jokes and stuff. Like I remember one of my first jokes was about dating, right? And it was about buying a woman something, and it was about buying Coach, and then finding out how much Coach costs, and being like, we got to get the assistant coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know somebody that's selling this shit cheaper. Let's go to them. You know, like, you know. So those were like some of my first ones. A lot of family stuff and things like that. And then I got jokes that I'm doing now that I like. One of my closers that I'm doing right now, I did it on the one that we did. It was my closer, and I wrote this joke in 2007.
Wow.
And it was a true story, but the way that I layered the joke is like, all right, now it makes sense. I wrote that story down of what happened to me, and I made it a joke, but I had to add the layers to make it funny. And I felt like I wasn't old enough to tell that joke back then. Like, I think my jokes have a certain age to them. Like, I wouldn't have been able to tell that joke and it go over how it does now when I was younger. Like, so that's that. So I always go back and I always tell comedians, and let me know if I'm rambling, but I always tell comedians, like, you don't have any old jokes. You don't have any old jokes. And the reason why you don't have any old jokes is because everybody hasn't seen you. You may be tired of saying the joke, but them people never heard it. Your new stuff may not be as funny as that stuff that you consider old. Like, keep it going.
That's very true. And also a joke can be reborn. Like, I get so tired of telling the same old jokes, but then, especially when I'm writing things out by hand, I'll see, I can punch it up here. I can tag it here. You know, or like the more comfortable you get on stage, the more you can act something out. You can like add a little voice or a little character or just a detail that can, like, you know, give the joke some new life.
Exactly. There's always new wrinkles.
Yes.
That can be added. So, doesn't die. It just gets new legs.
It does, every time. And I feel like the more details you have, like you talking about, you know, the Hot Wheels inside of a hot air balloon, like if you can put a good simile in there, it gives people something to latch on to.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that's amazing. So, okay, you're doing Dewdrop In. Tell me how that came about.
So, growing up uptown in New Orleans, And even before Katrina, Dewdrop was still open, but it wasn't, the performance part of it wasn't open anymore. It was just a little rinky-dink hotel. My grandfather came home from prison in 1986. So he actually was living over there for a good while. So me and my brother, we would always, we just thought my grandpa had a nice little snazzy little apartment situation uptown. But that's my history with it. But seeing the rebuild of it and seeing how it came about, and I didn't have any reservations on doing anything over there. I just didn't. I would have went over and supported it. But my good friend Jocelyn, and shout out to Jocelyn, man, because Jocelyn is one of the people that were very instrumental in me touring the country the way I did. This is hold up, this is some fluffer, but Jocelyn was cool with a group out of New York called Sweet Spot Nation.
Okay.
Jocelyn is a booker in New Orleans. She's from Detroit, but she's been in New Orleans for a long time, and she lives in my neighborhood, uptown. So she's very instrumental in a lot of New Orleans development. She loves the city, and she tries to preserve the culture of it. She does. They were looking for a comedian in New Orleans because somebody had canceled that was supposed to come down from New York for the tour. For the New Orleans stop, this is their first time coming to New Orleans. They needed a singer and they needed a comedian. The singer was Tank, Taking the Bangers.
I love her. She's weird.
Yes, that's my dog.
I like her a lot.
There was Tank, and the comedian was me, Mark Teaser. Fast forward, I'm now touring with these people around the country. We're doing 56 cities. We're doing 2 shows a night in the cities, and it's phenomenal. We're doing our thing. And that's all because Jocelyn hooked me up with that. Fast forward 10 years later, Jocelyn is now the booker for Dewdrop Inn.
Okay.
Jocelyn calls me. She said, Mark, we want a comedy night. Are you available? And if you aren't available, can you suggest someone to me? I said, well, you know what? I am available. And she was like, great. Give me a name, give me a price, and we'll go from there. And I've been doing the comedy there since the week it opened, which it's great. It's a great room. It's a great show. It's real nice. I gotta get you down there. It's a Tuesday night. The summertime,
yeah.
Man, you definitely can come pull up. Now.
Yeah, I'm going to Santa Fe in June. We're flying out on a Wednesday morning, so I can come in the Tuesday night.
Yeah, facts. Look at that. Perfect. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Dewdrop Inn is phenomenal, man. The work that they did in it, the building is beautiful. Like, I feel like every time I step in on that stage and I perform, I feel like Little Richard standing over my shoulder, like or something.
Ooh,
like
okay.
It's really good. It's really good. So I'm happy to be doing that. Like, I love that.
That's awesome. Well, Mark, let's take a break. And when we come back, I want to talk to you about fatherhood and how that's changed your comedy, okay?
Let's do it.
All right. Today's show is brought to you by Simply Chic Boutique in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. All the clothes I wear, the reason that I wear jeans that fit and shirts that go with the jeans and cute jewelry, and the reason that I don't dress like a busted school teacher is because of Simply Chic by Fatish. Y'all have to go. Angie curates the best items and she teaches you how to style them. Okay, so use my code Mary Ryan on Simply Chic's website, simplychicbyfatish.com, for 15% off new arrivals. All right, I'm here in the studio today with New Orleans legend, the OG of New Orleans comedy, Mr. Mark Caesar.
Yeah.
Hi, we're back.
Yep.
Okay, I want to know, because you started doing comedy when you were 15 years old. So I want to know, how has your comedy, your process, your material, your performance evolved since you became a father? Because now you have 4 babies.
Right. So I feel like every kid added a different wrinkle and dynamic. But I think the baby, being a girl and everything, I feel like that took me to real legit like dad mode. Like I feel like my whole life revolves around being a dad now. You know, not that it didn't before, but it was like, oh, that's boys. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna roll how I roll. We gonna do what we do. But now I have to be more conscious of the things I do, more conscious of the things I say, all that, you know, because, well, maybe you wouldn't know, but I don't know, maybe you would, because you have a daughter, but you're also a lady, so it's like, I don't know, I think for a man, it makes you take a step back. You watch your mouth a little bit more.
Oh yeah, it makes you less of an animal.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And also, like, you're the first man that you are her standard for like the whole male population.
Exactly.
You're her standard for how to treat people, how to be treated.
Right. So I'm even bringing that to the stage. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I really did like a real, I mean, like, wow, outrageous joke. Like it's been a minute since I wrote something that was like super provocative.
Same. Because now Meadow will say, oh, you doing comedy? I'm like, don't say pussy, don't say pussy. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, so I try to be conscious of things like that. You know, sometimes I get into my zone where I'm just like, all right, about to let the peace out tonight. You know?
Yeah,
but sometimes it's like, I'm going to go back to this baby when I'm finished with this.
That is true. And it's like the ultimate judge to answer to is this baby.
Yes. And she's had the chance to see me perform a few times.
Oh, that's good.
So Bayou Boogaloo Fest is going on this weekend.
Yeah.
And the first time she got me to see me perform was at Bayou Boogaloo last year.
Yeah.
And that was the most, I was nervous if I was going to have to put the mic down and go grab her from running into the water. But she sat in the front row the entire show and just watched. She was just like, wow, that's my daddy up there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, so now every time she see a microphone, a stand, she think that I'm supposed to perform.
So sweet. So, and I don't know, she's Mardi Gras Indian, isn't she?
Yes.
So, I mean, do you see that in her, that performance?
Yeah, because now she's performing.
Yeah.
And she's just so natural. Like, it's so natural. Like 2 years old doing Jazz Fest, I'm like, nah, this is crazy. And she was up there, not nervous, not scared, performed as if she didn't see me in the crowd at all.
So
and then when she got out there, she's like, I seen you, Daddy. I seen you out there. Like, I know, baby. I know.
Do any of your other kids have that performance gene?
All of them.
Really?
All of them.
You're going to start a Jackson 5?
I might start a Caesar 5. And I might have to be part of the group.
Yes, you will.
So Mark Jr. is a drummer.
Okay.
And he does stage. He just was the stage manager for his school district's production of Annie.
Annie was my first play too.
Yeah, so he just did Annie. He played the Lion in the Wizard of Oz this school year also. He's in the Louisiana talented theater program, so he's really good in that department. And also he's, like I said, he plays drums, he plays music, he reads music. Super talented. My son Adrian is a singer.
Wow. And
like he sings in the choir for his school. They do all types of performances and stuff. Also, he plays instruments. And then my baby boy Alexander, he plays drums and a little bit of piano and stuff like that at school also. So yeah, so they all into something artsy. And I never pushed none of that. Like I never was like, oh, you need to go do this, do that. They pick up everything on their own.
You should make a bunch of money off of it.
Yeah, I'm about to see how serious they're taking it. Because right now I'm just spending a bunch of money on all of it. So we're going to see.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember I had this dream to be a child star when I was little. Yeah, I did, school theater, and I couldn't sing, but I wanted to be able to sing. Right. And I was in Annie, and I was an orphan. I think my name was July, which is a bum-ass name for...
They just throwing shit on there, like...
They really were.
All right, you're going to be July.
Yeah, you're the 8th month of the year. Come on. And I had one kind of solo, and I remember it broke my heart, but it couldn't have been worse than my best friend. She's my best friend to this day. She's a doctor in New Orleans. She got cast as the dog
Oh shit.
And Annie.
They had a guy that played. They had a kid that played the dog in this one. I was like,
hands and knees.
yeah, on hands and knees with like 2 mop heads on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, I didn't think they would actually put the dog in, but
it builds character.
Yeah.
And I can say that because it didn't happen to me.
Right. You
know,
can
like,
see it builds character until you the one that's barking. Fucking cafetorium stage, you know what I'm saying? You the one that's making dog noises with a mop head on. You don't know if you're the janitor or the puppy. You just mop it. You don't know. You just on there.
Poor thing. I was like, okay, I guess I'll be July.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll fade into the background. I'll be July.
Right. I told my son he could have been a tree in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
He could have.
Instead, he's just the
the
cowardly lion.
Yeah, the cowardly lion. And he did good.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody got to do it. Man.
And that's a major part, too.
It is.
A lot of comic relief.
It is.
Yeah.
He could have been one of the crows.
Ooh.
A tree.
A monkey on a
lollipop kid. You know what I'm saying?
Or
like,
a lollipop kid. Oh, God. That same friend was obsessed with the Wizard of Oz
For real?
growing up. Yeah, and she would watch these documentaries about how all the Lollipop Guild would like get drunk on set when they weren't performing.
Oh wow!
They had them all in a hotel, you know, and they just let them roll.
Probably 2 rooms.
Just an annex.
Just with the door that go from one room to the other.
Yes.
And they share the shower.
I'd have to be on drugs to endure those.
Yeah, I would.
Well.
I would understand.
Oh Lord. So, tell me what's next for you in comedy. What are some of your bigger picture goals?
So I'm in a weird spot right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a spot where I'm pulling back a little bit. But as I say I'm pulling back, I get more and more stuff. But just the other day I told myself that I'm ready to do another comedy special, which would be my 10th special that I all self-produced, right? But I don't want to just do this one like that. I really want to go big with it. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm gonna do it like I'm gonna take all my closers and bring them all together on one set, and I think that'll be my next special. But that's my next move. I want to do a special. I have some other things I want to produce, and I'm probably going to get back into touring at some point.
Where would you go first?
Ooh, where would I go first? To start my tour, I usually like to start in Houston. But I kind of want to jump on that Austin scene a little bit, see what's happening out there, because I used to do Austin all the time before. I mean, it was always a nice comedy city, but now it took another. It has jumped up, and New Orleans is jumping up for comedy too right now. Like, I ain't gonna lie, New Orleans comedy scene is hot right now. Like, you can perform twice a night, and that I consider that a hot scene. When you have places to perform multiple times a night, I feel like that's a hot scene. I mean, there's enough comics to supply the demand. Well, I don't want to say that's demand for that comedy. Like, you're forcing it on people, but at the end of the day, you have a chance to go and practice and get better.
Somebody's eating an appetizer.
Right.
And you can voice your comedy.
Yeah, you can voice your comedy on, or they went there to shoot pool.
Yeah.
Or just make the cigarette machine make noise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's loud as fuck. Like, the cigarette machine is super loud.
It is,
and
but we need more.
Yeah.
We need more cigarette machines.
Because they took them all out. But some places still have them. But nonetheless, I feel like New Orleans comedy scene is really, really hot. But I'll definitely finish the tour in New Orleans. Okay. I always end in New Orleans because I don't want to come home and then have to leave again. So I'll finish in New Orleans, but I'll probably start in Houston. Or if it depends on where we're going, like I might start like New York or something. That would be
okay. What do you know about New York? I'm going there this summer.
Yeah.
I'm performing.
I'm gonna give you some numbers and stuff.
Please do.
I will. No, I love New York.
Okay.
I used to live in New York. The last time I've been to New York was right after we met. It was.
Yeah, you did Lincoln, didn't you?
I did the Lincoln Theater. Yeah, I did the New York Comedy Fest, and I did the Stand Up for Heroes. So that was a big show. That was cool. you know. Especially being a veteran and being able to do that show with those comedians that was on that show with me, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I never get a kick out of doing shows with certain comics of a bigger name. It doesn't do nothing for me. You know, because I feel like, all right, cool. I got a check just like them. And might not have been what they got, but nonetheless, I was here. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm on the billboard. But
for sure.
Nah, that was dope. That's the last time I've been in New York, though.
Okay.
That was 2021. No, 22. 22. Mm-hmm. 22.
Yeah.
So that's the last time I was in New York.
I haven't been in like 10 years.
But
so.
You never performed there yet?
And I haven't performed there yet. I've booked a show. I'm doing my like new hour. Uh-huh.
You gonna do it up there?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's at a club called Caveat on the Lower East Side.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of, it's one of those, I don't want to say like TED Talk comedy clubs. Mm-hmm. That's not it. But it's more like intellectual.
Right.
You know? So the theme of the show is called Gifted and Damaged. And it's about being a gifted kid, mm-hmm. growing up, being kind of an overachiever and a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And then experiencing extreme burnout, which has kind of been the story of my life. I've changed careers several times. I've pivoted. I've become a yoga instructor, which is, you know, considered a rock bottom by many.
We got a lot in common.
Yeah.
Because that was definitely like, that was me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like always being good at stuff and being afraid to express how good I was in certain things. Like, because you deal with other people's backlash from you being good at something. Like, you can do everything. Well, I kind of can do a lot of stuff. So I'm probably going to try and do everything that I know I could do.
And it's that weird kind of two-sided thing, at least for me. I call it the God-worm complex, mm-hmm. which anytime I say this to Andrew, his eyes just glaze over. He's like, what are you talking about? Because he's all right in the head. But I simultaneously believe that I can do anything better than anybody. And also, on the flip side of that I'm garbage taking up space in the universe. You know what I mean? Yeah. I believe I'm both the best and the worst. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. So I think I can do anything, and like, but at the same time, like right before we go on stage tonight, I'll have an existential crisis where I'll be like, I should not be here.
Sometimes I feel like imposter syndrome sets in on me.
Yeah.
Like, are you really as good as people say you are?
Yes.
Like, you know, why are they paying to see you? Like, what have you done to deserve this?
For real.
Like, I deal with that a lot.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I deal with that. Over 20 years in the business, and I still, to this day, I deal with that. Like, why are you here?
And it's such a, I mean, not to be too cheesy or anything, but it's such a blessing to be in the position we're in. You know, a lot of people, one, don't ever get in enough proximity of their dreams to realize, oh yeah, that is what I want for my life.
Right.
So just to be able to have talent, to have a dream, to be able to work toward mm-hmm. it, to have people who support you, like, who am I?
Right,
you know?
Exactly. Tell me this. It's a question for you.
Okay.
Do you feel like, how you deal with people saying, oh man, you're going to make it?
I don't like that. It feels like a curse.
Exactly. Because I'm asking that because people will tell you that, and they're saying that in their expectation of making it. It's their expectation. To you, making it might be just being able to hit the open mic and make people laugh. That might be making it to you. Maybe to someone else, making it is making enough money to pay my bills from a talent. You know, that's my version of making it. Like, but then some people want to be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna see you like Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like the 0.1%. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, that's an anomaly. Like I've had the pleasure of doing arenas. I've had the pleasure of doing theaters. I've had the pleasure of doing clubs. I've had the pleasure of doing bar rooms. I've had the pleasure of doing backyard patios. Mm-hmm. It's no such thing as, it's no one definition of making it.
No, and if you ever feel like you've arrived, like, that kind of feels like the end.
Yeah. Like,
you know?
I can't get no bigger than this.
Yeah, and it's not that, but also, like, for me, and I don't want to sound like Garth Brooks and, like, that fake, like, oh, I'm so humble, I'm nobody, whatever, but, like, having my family is so much more, and being able to do this with my family and have Andrew drive me to all this stuff and hang out in the green room. And
people and their expectations. You cannot let someone else's expectations dictate your future. You just cannot. You can't.
Has there been a moment where you've had to draw that line?
Oh, constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, constantly. Like in a barbershop, like people would be like, so I grew up where Cash Money Records started. Mm-hmm. And Baby, the founder of Cash Money, is a good friend of my mom's. They grew up together. When Big Timers dropped Get Your Roll On, Baby bought all his closest friends Camaros. 1997, 98 Camaros. My mom was one of those friends that got a Camaro. They're tight like that. They grew up together and everything. And a lot of people from my neighborhood are all his friends, like friends of his and stuff like that. And I'm real tight with him too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he look out for me a lot. But they be like, I can't wait till you get that Benz, like Baby had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you gonna do it like Baby do it? Then they'll be like, don't get like Baby and forget about us. Like, you know, stuff like that. I'd be like, what makes y'all think I'm gonna be the Birdman? Like, what makes y'all think I'm about to be this big mogul of comedy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that's tripping my head out. That y'all always like think like, so they always ask like, Mark, man, I can't wait to see you do this, da 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 da. And that's great because they think highly of me. Yeah. But the one that got me the most, this guy, I just seen him on my way here. His name is Nunu. What's up, Nunu? He gonna watch this because he don't miss nothing I do. He gonna watch it, Nunu.
Shout out, Nunu.
Yeah, shout out to Nunu, man. Nunu say, man, Mark, you know, the other night, bro, I was watching Dancing with the Stars. I said, all right. He said, bro, that made me think about you. I said, for real? He said, yeah, bro. He said, you ever thought about going on Dancing with the Stars? I said, well, I don't know if I'm that kind of star right now. Yeah. But I said, but I will go. Then it made me think. He was like, what song do you think you'll dance off? And it's so crazy because I knew the answer right then and there.
What is it?
DJ Jubilee, Get It Ready. Like, I'm a dance off Get It Ready because they're going to tell you the exact dances to do. And I'm already have my dances. And they're like, well, what if you make it to the next week? I'm going to do the same song again.
Same song again. No surprises.
I'm not switching it up.
Oh my God.
Send me home. But I don't know what made me think about that. But that's the expectations they have of me. My neighborhood expects me to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, I mean, I
gotta get that.
You have to put on for your city.
I have to get on Dancing with the Stars.
That would terrify me. My students, when I taught 10th grade, they would want me to dance with and for them, and I can't do it. Right. I really can't do it. And my younger siblings had warned me, whatever you do, don't do a TikTok. Don't do a dance. That's how they get you.
Don't do a dance on TikTok.
Yes, so it's just freeze tag in the room. I just freeze anytime they start dancing. Oh, because wow. I know it's a trap, and I know I can't do it.
Right.
I only have one dance move, and it's this face. You know.
Yeah.
White people like to make that face.
You gonna do it tonight?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. So tell them what we're doing tonight, Mark.
So tonight we are doing a senior night, right? It's
a senior night. It's grad night.
Grad night in Jackson, Mississippi. That's going to be tight. I'm looking forward to that. Because they booked our old asses to come do it, and it's,
I know. They're going to say, who is this millennial in heels? And we're performing on basically this.
Yeah, some tables pushed together.
We're performing on tables pushed together, which I haven't danced on a raised surface since I was, in college.
Yeah.
Where's that place? I think it's called F&M's in New Orleans. No.
Fat Cats?
It's not Fat Cats. It's I couldn't tell you where it was. I arrived there on a bus, and I think I was carried out.
Okay.
But you dance on tables in there. That's the big thing that you do.
I don't know that one. I know they got Coyote Uglies on Decatur, where they just dance on the bar.
Interesting. It's not that. I don't know. That was one of the most fun nights of my
I don't know. I had to ask my girl. She might know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Girls know.
Yeah, they know.
We've all done a little table time. So yeah, I'm not going to dance on. I just don't want to fall off.
Right.
Because I'm wearing platforms. The theme is Candyland.
Out there tonight?
And I'm wearing candy stripe platform heels. And a tasteful blouse, so they know I'm not.
Right. I'm wearing a tasteful blouse too.
Okay, good.
I really am.
I believe you.
It's giving Prince.
Oh, that's amazing. It's giving Princess Diana.
Okay. Not Katy Perry in the California Girls video.
Honestly, it's probably gonna inadvertently give that. It's gonna give. It's gonna give. This is the fun lady who works in HR.
I think that video was Candyland themed. You know, I think it was.
It was. She had the bra, the whipped cream bra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. I have a Tic Tac bra.
Okay, all right.
Just a little Pez.
A Tic Tac bra.
Well, Mark Caesar, thank you so much for driving to Hattiesburg on your way from New Orleans. Thank you for putting me on in comedy because you really kind of were the first one, and hopefully we'll do more shows together.
We will, and thank you for having me on your podcast. This is super dope. It's going to be great. Super freak.
Super freak.